We'll start out with some opening comments from Coach, if you would, please.
Yeah, well, obviously tough first half for us, to say the least, right? Give Wisconsin a lot of credit. They were really ready to play. I knew they would be, coming off the game. And we just didn't really have many answers in the first half. Thought they executed really well. I'm not sure. I mean, we got to be a lot better with our grit and physicality and toughness. I'm not sure the last time I remember a half where, we didn't force a turnover. I think they had 15 assists, no turnovers. And, to me, whether they're scoring a lot, that's indicative, especially the way we've played and the success we've had when we've had our better teams. That first 20 minutes was not who we need to be, obviously, to be successful in this league. I thought in the second half I really challenged our guys, regardless of what the score was, to find some fight and to find some competitive spirit. And I thought we played a lot better in the second half. We forced them into 7 turnovers. They only had 4 assists. We held them to 30 points versus 55. So, but it was too little too late. I mean, that first half, Blackwell was fantastic, and everything was in the flow. He wasn't forcing anything. I thought he took the shots as they were coming. They were finding the ball was popping and moving, and give them all the credit in the world for that. And then in the second half, when things got a little tight, Boyd took over, and then as we got a little tired there, we were expending a lot of energy, I think, trying to get back in the game. I thought the last 8 minutes when we got a little winded, he really took advantage of that and started driving us and getting to the basket. So, give Wisconsin the credit for the win. We got to play a lot better. We have a quick turnaround this weekend going home. Just disappointed, that we let that game get away from us in the first half today. That was probably obviously our worst half of the year, and we got a lot of things we got to fix with that.
Questions for Coach, Michael?
Obviously, some of Wisconsin's turnovers were unforced in the second half, but how did you get them to play a little bit sloppier down the stretch?
I just thought we played a little bit harder and with a little bit more physicality and a little bit more force. I thought it was just coming real easy. I just thought the way they were running their offense in the first half, there wasn't a lot of resistance. Ball was moving side to side. They were getting where they needed to get. Guys were getting shots in rhythm. I thought in the second half, they still did what they did. But, I thought in the second half there was at least some resistance. We forced them to miss some shots. I thought we were more physical in the paint. I thought, we didn't let it just come so easy. I thought in the first half everything came real easy for them. And I thought we did a better job in the second half. It was just, when you're down 23 in this building, it's going to be. But I'll give our guys credit. We had a couple possessions there when it was 14, and there was still plenty of time on the clock. And we had a couple, silly turnover. I think we got a steal, had the 2-on-1. We turned it over. I think we got another stop and came down and turned it over again, and then Boyd scored. So, we didn't stop playing. That was the positive. But as we move forward, we have to look in ourselves and figure out where we're going to head. We're not defending and rebounding and playing physically enough to be successful right now in this league, and we got to change that in a real hurry.
I'll get a question here with Nick, please.
Hey, Coach, I know you've obviously gone against John a few times. When he's able to shoot from outside and kind of get to the cup, finish through contact, just what makes him one of the tougher guards to defend?
Yeah, he can really shoot the ball, as we saw in the first half, but he's strong. His physicality and, a lot of the game he was guarding Nick, which is, he was doing a good job trying to front him and make his catches hard in the post and things of that nature. So, and I just thought, he played very under control. That's what I was really impressed with. I just never felt like he was forcing. I thought he just played. And the shots came to him in the first half. The second half, he missed, a few that he normally makes. But, he's now as a junior, he's just playing like a vet. And he was good as a freshman. We saw that. He was terrific. He was one of the best freshmen his freshman year. But you just look out there and he's got a presence. He's playing like an older guy. He's got a strong body. He's smart. He knows how to attack within their offensive concepts. And, he's poised to have a monster year. And he already has been playing great. But kind of fortunate that we don't have to play against him again.
Right here, Coach.
Hey, Coach. The 3 losses this year have all been 83-plus points
Yeah,
for,
right.
for the opposing team. That's just, frankly, a very different
Yep.
situation than it has been the past few years. From that perspective, this team's defensive identity, do you feel you can get this team with this personnel to that standard, or is it about finding a different way to win this season?
Yeah, I think we have to. I think we have to. I think that's offensively we're going to be okay. I mean, even tonight. I mean, are there things we could have done better offensively? Yes, but we scored 73. So to your point, we're 8 games into the season and 1 game into a 20-game league season. So for me to say right now that it's hopeless and we can't find it is irresponsible. It's my job, it's our staff's job, and it's our players' accountability to say that we're going to defend better. And certainly we will look at everything like we always have. We will look at lineups. We will look at how we're playing. I have always done it. If you follow my track record, I have never been afraid to find the right things that is going to make our team successful. And I will continue to do that as long as we have games to play. And we have 19 more league games. And was this disappointing? Yes. Did this end our season? No. We have an opportunity to go home and play in front of our home crowd on Saturday afternoon and have a chance to try to make things right, which we didn't do tonight.
Right over here, Coach.
Hey, Coach, it seems like last year you ended the year facing a lot of adversity with a couple of injuries to Leach and Brooks. This year, you're facing a lot of adversity, taking care of the ball tonight, and obviously on the rebounding end, losing 3 of your last 4.
Yeah.
What's your message in the locker room heading into a pivotal game on Saturday in order to get over the hump?
Well, the first thing is we have to stay together, and you can't fragment. I mean, that's what happens today in our, society. When things aren't going well, we have a tendency to just fragment, and jump off the ship. I think the thing is we all have to stay on board. We all have to rally around each other, and we all have to look inside each individual, me included, coaches, and figure out a way to be successful. That's kind of always been my motto, is figure it out, find a way. And last year, to your point, when we lost those 2 guys, no one thought we were going to win another game when we lost 30-something point, and we ended up winning 5 more. So I guarantee you that whether we win or lose, that will be determined. We're playing a terrific team on Saturday, but I guarantee you on Saturday afternoon that it will be a team that is competing with a high level of spirit and energy and togetherness, and it's my job to find those guys that are going to do that in a couple days.
Okay, thank you, Coach. I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.